We should not be forced to become desensitized to this unconstitutional behavior. I'm not a dyke, I'm not a heathen, I'm a human.
The organization CAPE, the California Alliance for Pride and Equality, CAPE was formed and surrounded itself with a group of committed, passionate community advocates that had immense talent. And then Jeff Coors came in as executive director.
When I started, the organization had one staff person, the financials in a pizza box, and no office.
The one thing we knew was we couldn't do it on our own.
You know, 1999 and 2000, there were not a lot of companies championing LGBT rights. It was a leap of faith, but it was also, I think, a leap of opportunity.
As we started doing our work in partnership with the LGBT Caucus, we were very cognizant that Prop 22, which prohibited marriage between same-sex couples, passed by almost 25 percentage points. So we had to really start by passing some initial bills, educating the public, and moving legislators.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, Alice Kessler with Equality California.
You know, legislators needed our support on the ground, and we needed their support in the Capitol. And that partnership helped change culture.
From Washington, D.C., the State of the Union address.
The fact was you had a president of the United States in 2004 that at the State of the Union wanted to write discrimination into the Constitution of the United States.
Would be the constitutional process. Our nation must defend the sanctity of marriage.
He saw something wrong with the Constitution, so he wanted to amend the Constitution to deny same-sex couples the ability to get married. We saw something right with the Constitution.
We basically started to issue the marriage licenses couple after couple, and pretty soon that line that started down the hallway, out the door, around the block.
Think about it. There must be a higher law.
I regularly debated, including on Fox.
Of course that's not what the bill does.
You had to put a real face on who we were. We had to make that change. We had to stand up.
Election night in 2008, found out Obama was elected and everyone jumped for joy. And then literally a breath later, we found out that Prop 8 passed. And I just remember being in the room and breaking down in tears with my friends and just feeling so unseen, that my life didn't matter as much to my neighbors and our family members, and that really hurt.
It was Prop 8 that really brought to light the need to diversify and to reach out to various other communities in order to make our community stronger.
One of the greatest moments was realizing that that was the spark that got so many people to wake up and want to change that.
Our love is equal.
The United States found gay and lesbian Americans have a constitutional right to marry.
Once Rick became executive director, to see what it grew into, it was really impressive.
Our community was asking, why do we need Equality California at this point? We've got marriage equality, we've got these civil rights protections, but we hadn't articulated what we needed to do to make sure that our community had achieved full lived equality for the future.
He shared with me a long-term strategic plan and where they wanted to move the organization. I felt like maybe in my conversations with him that I could really add value and affect change, and I really wanted to be part of that. And so for me, really feeling like somebody wanted to hear my thoughts and implement those thoughts as part of the future of where the organization was going and headed, that was tough to turn down.
So we knew that there was a need in the community. It was a matter of our board stepping up to build that strategic plan and take us into the next 20 years.
we decided to launch a robust legislative program
to make rights a reality for people on the ground.
Reforming our HIV criminal laws,
fairness at work,
access to quality health care,
hate crimes,
faith communities,
intersectional communities, and also on many immigration issues that have come to the forefront of society today.
This year, we're releasing our Safe and Supportive Schools report card. It's a culmination of a 2-year effort to assess 130 school districts across the state and how they're doing to provide safe and supportive learning environments for LGBTQ and all kids.
Equality California is leading the fight to ensure that the first out generation to grow old grows old with dignity, equality, and supported in our healthcare needs.
We needed to now work hard to prevent the Trump-Pence administration from rolling back the protections that we had worked so hard for over the past 20 years.
Today in federal court, Equality California and 7 brave, patriotic individuals filed suit against President Donald Trump and his administration, seeking to block his directive that would bar transgender people from serving in the military.
Excuse me?
We need protections for LGBTQ people in all the states across the United States. It's a state-by-state battle, and that's one of the things I love about Equality California going into Nevada, going to DC and working on federal legislation.
When we talk about equality for our LGBT community, actually we're talking about fairness for all of the people in the United States of America. It's about erasing ignorance.
You know, election night 2018, seeing some of the 7 congressional districts flip from the Republican to Democrat and seeing, you know, members of our community be elected to Congress was a huge victory for us in California.
We know we have the conviction, we know they have the commitment of people, but who has the courage?
What did the president ask or suggest that you say about the payments or reimbursements?
The 2 Katies, Katie Hill, Katie Porter, Harley Ruda, Mike Levin, Gil Cisneros.
He spoke of the act of coming out, sometimes terrifying act, and what it felt like to look around you and to not have hope. You have to give them hope, Harvey Milk said to his fellow San Franciscans. Hope for a better world. Hope for a better tomorrow. Hope for a place to come if the pressures at home are too great. Hope that all will be all right.
The last 20 years were incredible in terms of the LGBTQ civil rights movement, but the next 20 years is going to be even more amazing.
This is the wave of the future. The days are numbered for people who would stand in the way for liberty and justice for all across every community in our country. So I thank you, Equality California, for your leadership.
Success as it relates to equality is not a place, it's not a definition, it's a direction.
With Equality California, we can say, "Sí se puede" for our LGBTQ community.
Thank you for your support over the last 20 years, and know that Equality California will continue fighting for you until the work is done.